That Australia is seen by a lot of people overseas as being a very free, open, democratic type of country, a good place to bring an innovation. And also another reason is that Australia has, along with New Zealand, the highest incidence per capita and the highest death rate per capita for asthma in the world. And we also have an increasing number of people with sleep disorders, specifically snoring and sleep apnea. So they thought it would be a good place to bring the breathing method, get the courses happening, get good results, train other practitioners in the method, have it more widely taught, organise a clinical trial, get something published, and then finally make some changes to the management of respiratory conditions. Well, as we shall learn today, a lot has happened, but there is still quite a long way to go. But it really is worth having an understanding of how the Buteyko method arrived in this country, because it does give us an insight as to why things are the way they are today in Australia with the Buteyko method. So in 1990, a gentleman called Alexander Stalmatsky, known as Sasha, who had worked with Professor Buteyko in Russia for 15 years, arrived in Australia. Based himself in Sydney. Couldn't speak English. So he started teaching the Buteyko method in the Russian community. And within a very short space of time, word was getting around that here was this wonderful new Russian breathing technique. People were going back to their doctors after doing the Buteyko course and saying, look, I'm sleeping through the night, I'm not snoring, I'm not having apnea, I'm not getting asthma, I'm not taking any of these reliever medications. Other people were able to breathe through their nose consistently for the first time in years. And all of this anecdotal success of the Buteyko method meant that the media started to pick up on it. Some of you have had a chance to look at the boards here, which have got a few dozen of the hundreds of magazine and newspaper articles there's been on the Buteyko method over the years. And in the middle of 1992, Channel 9's Current Affair ran a feature on the Buteyko method for the first time on Australian TV. Anyone here seen Buteyko featured on the telly? Well, you may be surprised to know it's actually now been on TV in Australia between 30 and 40 times. And with all of this media exposure and the fact that Sasha had now been here a few years, his English improved, he started introducing practitioner training programs, and towards the end of 1994 it's estimated around 3,000 people had successfully learnt the Buteyko method. And the Australian health authorities started to come under increasing pressure to make some sort of statement about the Buteyko method. Because people were ringing them up and saying, look, we keep seeing these stories in the media. Does this method really work? Is there a scientific basis to it? Have clinical trials being done? Is it going to be taught through the health department or the asthma foundations? Anyway, finally, after a lot of pressure from the media,